It's a game changer with regional impact.
This is the community that was forgotten.
For now, we are okay.
Tumefurahi maana ameleta maendeleo kubwa sana.
The impact of the Eastern Africa Regional Transport, Trade and Development Facilitation Project, whose major component was the construction of a new highway from Lokichar in KenyaSouth to the Kenya-South Sudan border via Lodwar, is already being felt.
Hii laga alikuwa anatufunganga wakati ya mvua. Tunalalanga hata huko siku mbili. Hapa Kawalase. Watu gabe melenda hapa. Gari gabe meenda na maji. Lakini saa hii iko sawa.
Although the new highway begins from Lokichar, a new bridge in Kainuk was a crucial link in the project.
Daraja yetu ilikuwa imeanguka, hata ilikuwa hatupiti, chakula inaharibikia kwa barabara, magari inaanguka ndani ya daraja. Sasa saa hizi kila kitu inakuwa shwari.
The road, which is a gateway to South Sudan, is also known as the South Sudan Link Road. The project had three components, taking a multi-sectoral approach with over 13 government institutions involved.
The cost of the project was, at the point of design, $672 million US, with the World Bank giving a loan of $500 million US, and the rest, 172 million, being the counterpart funding by the government of Kenya. The ministry has played the role of oversight. In total, we have 4 implementing agencies: the State Department for Roads, Kenya Revenue Authority, ICT Authority, as well as the Kenya National Highways Authority.
Many projects that we address are just the carriageway. But in these specific projects, it catches on the community needs. At the moment, the Kenyan government has, with the help of the World Bank, have been able to reconstruct 330 kilometers. A road that has many amenities and also other infrastructures like schools, colleges. We have boreholes, a market for animals, a truck parking where drivers can rest.
Think about the localized GDP to construction over this period of 5 years, 6 years during the project implementation in this region. There is so much revenue or value in earnings because of construction that was retained in the community. And if you go to the region today, you'll see people putting up more modern houses along the corridor.
KRA as an organization, we are very keen on structures. And one of the first things which we have to put in place is about the infrastructure which will facilitate this operation by coming up with, of course, identifying very strategic locations for our rapid response units. In the south at Kainuk, at the center of Turkana at Lodwar, and then on the northern part at Kakuma where we are right now. We play a very major role in ensuring that we facilitate cargo movement within the region, free movement of goods and of course people within the region as well.
We have seen an increase in the number of trucks that actually move along this particular road, delivering products and goods from Kenya to South Sudan. We have also seen an increase in trade, cross-border trade between Kenya and South Sudan. We have also seen an increase in security of cargo. Previously, we had banditry attacks along this particular route. Traders have been losing cargo, but as of now, we have not received even a single incident of cargo being lost along this particular road.
The socio-economic infrastructure project is basically a project which was initiated through a collaboration between the Kenya National Highways Authority, the Turkana County Government, West Pokot County, local leadership, and this project was like a social license to enable us implement the roadworks project.
It became apparent that if we only concentrated on the linear infrastructure of upgrading of the road section, then the community would be left out. Remember, this is the community that was to host the contractors that would be working on this road section. And this community, having not received quite substantial support in terms of development, it was imperative that, from the government side and the bank side, we work together to see how best to provide some of the basic social infrastructure, which most of us take for granted because we have been privileged to access them, but yet the host community was lacking this kind of facilities.
Another key component of the project was the laying of over 600 kilometers of fiber optic cable from Eldoret town to the KenyaSouth Sudan border as part of boosting regional trade.
This project alone has enabled us to connect over 193 institutions touching on schools, hospitals, markets, where we've connected, even provided public Wi-Fi.
This connectivity will go a long way in ensuring that, first of all, we are promoting trade, e-commerce. It will also ensure that we are able to promote peace in the region because, first of all, people can communicate among themselves, but then also with the law enforcement agencies. When it comes to e-learning, again, with connectivity, then we are saying that people are able to exchange knowledge.
This is the largest single project financed by the World Bank in an underserved area.
The role of the World Bank was to mobilize financial and human resources, as well as working with the neighboring countries in the design and implementation of the project. This is a regional project focusing on improving a development corridor between Kenya and South Sudan.
So I think the expected impact is going to be much beyond the actual road construction and the fiber optic cable. It's really kind of helping the economic development and integration of Turkana with the rest of Kenya. I remember when my colleagues went there for the first time, they told me, and when they went up to Turkana and explained this project was coming, people were very skeptical.
As a regional project, it links two countries, impact significant on the cost of travel, the time that is needed between both countries. And it is actually one of those projects that created the first example of how we do connectivity beyond transport into economic corridors.
The Kenya National Highways Authority's role was implementation of the roadworks, the socio-economic infrastructure projects, plus the civil works and laying of the fiber optic cable.
Kenya was in charge of managing the consultancy supervision as well as the contractor who are doing the construction. The project was in 5 sections, and each section had a contractor and a consultant.
The road touches anybody who interacts with it or a community that's where it traverses. So we are looking at this project as a development corridor, not just roadworks. It is a development corridor.
The old road was constructed in the 80s, and these are sample images of how it looked. This is the old road. You can see how it's looking. And I'm walking on a drift. It is on a waterway. During flooding, the road would become impassable. But now, no amount of flooding can affect traffic flow, thanks to major bridges and box culverts like this one.
It had completely worn out, and so it was very narrow and very dangerous. It was so easy to be attacked by bandits and also to get into crossfires of intercommunal conflict. When we came through, we had to address that by ensuring that we do a proper Class A road. Now, a Class A road has a minimum lane width of 3.5 meters. So when you have 2 lanes, we are talking about 7 meters wide, which is enough to accommodate even the widest of trucks presently that we are using in this country. But then, we were also dealing with the problem of flash floods. So it meant that we needed to raise our road to ensure that it is no longer affected by the flash floods.
Here in Lokichar, world-class standards. The road was expanded. There are service lanes on both sides. There are clear road markings, clear road signs.
The outlook of this town has improved so much. So I'm sure most of the people in this country will not believe that this is Lokichar in Turkana County. It does improve the business in this area. So we have some development coming up.
This road is a massive God-given opportunity for this area.
As you enter Lodwar town, one of the key features you come across is Takwel Bridge in Kanamkemer. The old bridge was narrow and allowed traffic only one way. The project has led to a major transformation of Lodwar town.
Lodwar town was a very small town where we basically knew each other. Now you can barely know who is who. It could take us 10 hours in a good ride between Lodwar and Kitale. Now we barely take 4 hours. The road has been done, it's 4 hours, 5 hours.
The construction of Kawalase Bridge that is located in Lodwar on the way to Lokitang was also a game changer. This drift or lager is what travelers depended on, and when it flooded, everything would come to a standstill. Now, as you can see, during heavy flooding, the water is flowing way below the new bridge.
Tangu bridge ya Kawalase itengenezwe, kila kitu iko sawa.
Hata saa hizi ikinyesha, tunaenda tu kupitia kwa hiyo bridge juu. Watu wetu hawezi lala njaa, unaenda tu na unarudi salama.
And this is a drive through Kakuma town during the day. And when the night falls, business continues up to late, thanks to solar lighting that has transformed the town.
Hapo mwanzo tulikuwa tunafunga kazi mapema, lakini saa hizi imetusaidia hadi tunafunga saa 3, saa 4, saa 5.
On this highway, over 30 major bridges were constructed, beginning with Kainuk all the way to the border between Kenya and South Sudan. Behind me is Kalobeye Bridge in Turkana West, and this is after Kakuma on the way to the border.
Because of the flash flood threat, we replace all the fords with either bridges or box culverts. We had 36 major bridges in the entire stretch of 340 kilometers. That means you have at least a bridge every 10 kilometers. The longest is 260 meters, and that is Kalobei River Bridge. It is a spectacle to behold, 260 meters long, and the span is about 80 meters.
At the Kenya-South Sudan border, we meet a happy transporter who offers his services between the two countries.
Barabara mzuri iko na maana sana, mambo mingi mazuri. Sababu wakati wa kusafiri unasafiri haraka, gari hata iwezi haribika ovyo ovyo. Lakini sasa tunaomba barabara ambayo imebakia hapa kwenda South Sudan huko ndani watutengeneze iweze kutusaidia zaidi.
Remember, this project was not just about the road. There were construction works of various community facilities.
There are 25 projects starting from West Pokot in Sangak, that has a school that can host a population of up to 800 pupils. And then we are ending up all the way in Nadapal that has a health center, a livestock market.
I want to tell you why we wanted to finance social infrastructures like schools. You'll see behind me this little structure. This is actually currently a dormitory for girls. Can you imagine that in each of these tiny little structures, there are going to be many, 20, 30 of girls going to be sleeping there? I think we have to do better to provide them with better facilities. And that's why we're financing the building of this school. The school will not only have better classrooms, they will have facilities for laboratories, they have facilities for the teachers, they also have dormitories for the girls and boys.
At the peak of the construction of these social infrastructure facilities, we had up to 2,000 locals employed working in various facilities.
Wakati mradi ilikuja hapa na Pelilim location katika eneo la bonge la Loima constituency,
Nilikuja nikaomba nafasi ya foreman kwa contractor ambaye alipatiwa na Kenya kujenga hizi mradi hapa. Niliweza kufanya hii kazi, nikanunua pikipiki, niliweza kununua mabati, mbao, nikajenga nyumba ya mabati.
Kila siku tunaamka na furaha kwa sababu tunaona shule yetu iko sawa, hospitali iko sawa, Kenya amefanyia hizi mambo mzuri sana. Iko sawa kabisa.
Tuko na dispensary ambaye pia hapo kando kuna ward ya kina mama na ward ya kina baba. Mradi umekuja na security pia ikaimarika, vita vya kunyang'anyana ng'ombe hii imeweza kwenda chini.
In fact, when you look at the development in any area, like where we have Turkana, it used to be a forgotten kind of area, but with the new developments, with the new lights, with the new roads, with the new water pumps, there is now hope in the people, and when there is hope, people embrace hope with peace. Peace also creates hope to the people.
This project has been very well managed in having project teams coming in on monthly basis to inspect the performance, delivery timelines, manage the cost of the project, and so on and so forth. So World Bank has been great, and we want to, as Government of Kenya, thank World Bank for this particular investment.
A properly maintained new road will serve in the range of 15-20 years. And fuel levy will be used to maintain this road continuously so that it is able to serve the people as intended.
It is a model that we want to replicate for other regional projects, a model that takes transport connectivity to the next level and takes a corridor development to the next level.